surprised Papa Jim with a riverboat cruise, and we are going to cruise the Iowa River at nighttime on an owl prowl. They're going to be playing some owl sounds and having red lights so we can spot the owls as they fly overhead or as they're perched in the trees, and we're going to get to see some really neat things tonight, so come on along.
So before we get to calling our bart owls, the sun has to go all the way down. We tried it a couple weeks ago kind of as the sun was coming down, and as soon as it got all the way under, they showed up. So we'll kind of take our time working our way up there, but we'll talk about bats and some other nocturnal animals we may encounter as we're on the river. For an explanation on how things are going to go a little bit, once we get positioned upriver and we start to call birds, it's going to get really loud. The speaker is extraordinarily loud, but the reason for that is because I can call them from a really long distance with that, just in case they're pushed off way into some of the parks or parts around town. And then once we start to see them where they fly across the top of the boat, I have a big spotlight up here with me. It's got a big red lens filter on the front of it. I'll kind of flash it at them, and since it has the red lens filter, their eyes don't pick it up as bad as if you have like a white light or a yellow light. So you'll be able to see them in the trees, and you will see their eyes kind of shine and flash back at you. So hopefully they're going to cooperate like they have the last couple weeks, where they get within about 20 feet of the boat. That way everybody gets a chance to see them. There's a pair of young bart owls up the river that have pretty much followed us around the entire time. So we'll get a chance to take a look at those. But other nocturnal wildlife we're going to see as we creep along the river here, we will probably spotlight some raccoons. We had one the last time we were here. There's a whole bunch of deer running down through that guy's yard.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. So there's a good wildlife show to start the day. Kind of some of the stuff we're going to see initially here at the beginning of the night, which are a bunch of our different what we call nighthawks. They're insect catching birds. They have great big mouths on them, but they're not very big, and they're not related to hawks at all. They're just called nighthawks in general. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about bats. So I've got some bat stuff with me too. So on the Iowa River here, our limestone bluffs serve as roosting spots for our bats during the daytime. So they go into the crevices and they sleep there, or they go in your attics or in the top of the boat club and they sleep there for the day. But then they'll fly out as we get later in the day like this, and they'll come out and catch their insects for the night. So we should get to see a pretty good variety of them. I did bring a bat specimen from one of our native bats here. So this was a live one. We just use it as a kind of an educational tool now. All right, so as we make the bend around the river here, keep your eyes open along the edges where there's like exposed mud. Lots of times this time of day is when our raccoons, possums, blue herons, all sorts of other animals that are kind of river edge dwellers like to come out and hunt along the edge of the stream there. So this isn't the best habitat for a lot of our critters here. Yeah, there's your great blue heron. So really distinct, gigantic bird. When they stand, they're like this tall on me. So really, really big bird. And when they fly, you'll notice they have this great big like triangular shape in front of their chest. Really easy to pick up when they fly. But that was one that was probably hunting along the river here. Yeah, super echoey here. In the Rockwall area, you'll notice there's a lot of holes in the limestone, and those are the places in this particular area that our bank swallows and cliff swallows like to have their babies. So they're insectivores. They come out, they catch bugs in the evening time, they go back in, they can feed their babies there. But they are what we call a neotropical migrant, which means they migrate to Central America, the Caribbean, as it starts to get colder here in Iowa, and we are right in the peak of migration this week and next week. So my guess is a lot of these birds have already boogied out. So we saw them a couple weeks ago where they were all over the tops of the boat. But it's looking like it's pretty vacant now, which is pretty normal for this time of year. Same with a lot of our nighthawks. They are also in full-blown migration mode. So we had an injured nighthawk that showed up at our nature center today, obviously showing me that they're starting to migrate through. Had to briefly talk on the owl I've got here, which is a great horned owl. We will not see great horned owls tonight because they do not come into vocalizations. The only two owl species we will see are screech owls and barred owls. So this is going to be one of our biggest owls that we have here in Iowa, and they get their name great horned owl. because they have these horns on top of their head, or these great big tufts. Most people think they are the owl's ears. It's not their ears at all. These are just display feathers. So if they want to show off to a female, they might pop those up. Or if they want to tell you, hey, you've gotten too close to my space, they may also pop those feathers up. So I have a captive one at my nature center that has a wing injury. He's a non-releasable bird. Every time I go in to feed him, his horns come right up to tell me, hey, you need to get away. So if we do get lucky and see one of these, they'll probably do that territorial display where they pop those feathers up. The toes, very, very sharp. And when they squeeze, they have a grip strength a lot like a person does, where if they're gonna poke you, it's really, really gonna hurt.
Hey.
Very sharp.
Ouch.
When I feel it, be careful. Then our other predatory birds, when they fly, they have a special evolutionary trait on the end of this wing that helps them to fly silently, and I'll show you as I come around. But an animal like a hawk or an eagle that can fly super fast, they hunt during the daytime, they can just kind of crash into their prey. They don't need to worry about being totally silent when they fly. Owls, when they are hunting animals that also come out at night, have to be cautious about the way that they hunt so that they're not scaring off their prey items. Especially when their prey items are very, very small. So the adaptation that they have as I come around, this is a great horned owl wing. If you look right across the top of the wing, it almost looks like your eyelashes. We just call it a fringe, but that fringe takes the air current and it silences it, kind of like a silencer on a gun. And the way it does that, it pushes the air current into the body feathers of the owl. As I came around, you probably saw that owl look really fluffy. And what it does is it pushes all that air into their body feathers so that they can fly silently.
I see it. That's neat.
Okay, so before our owls get out, I'm going to show you what trees they're going to land in, because they do it almost every single time. That tree right there has no leaves on it. It's a dead tree. They can see us. We can see them. This tree here, and they get up in the pines a lot too. Yep, here he comes, right here.
No, he's still up there.
Yeah, that's the second one. So there's our pair. Here comes that one.
Yeah.
Watch what tree he's going to. Watch that one.
Oh,
Here he comes.
goes over to it.
Right there. Side by side. Yes, sir. Still sitting there. We're gonna try another screech owl here. See what they do with it. Yeah, there is. There's a third one. There's a third one back here. If you guys ever wanted to do this in the park, there's an app called All About Birds. If you literally type in barred owl calls, it comes up with all the vocalizations we're doing right here.
Whoa, he's big. Yeah. Oh, on the move.
Ooh, way up high.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
Sometimes I like to think they're fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
There was something.
Hang
There's
on.
a big bird that went through there.
Yeah, that's an angry call, like get out of my territory.
Yeah. There's some big bird. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, there's two more back over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys hear them? Listen.
Mm-hmm. They're further back in there.
Man, if you guys get 4 owls on the river, that's world class. That's crazy. Never seen 4. Yeah, they're getting closer. As it gets darker, they'll keep creeping. Here he is. Right in the tree there.
Mm-hmm.
Look right here.
Mm.
There you go. How about that shot? Both of them right
Yeah,
in that dead
both of them
stick
right there on the
right at the end.
Look at their legs.
Oh man.
Look at them looking at the boat. Like, what is
Yeah.
it?
Oh, that is so cool.
One has her back to us.
They're scratching.
You guys see him talking at you? Oh, look at that!
Oh.